So, here I already have this pretty funky looking minivan body chosen out. Now first, for these options, I'm going to make the panels from steel, then monocoque chassis also made from steel, front transverse engine placement, and for suspension I will go with McPherson strut on the front and solid axle coil on the rear. Next I will place some fixtures on this thing, and here it is all done. At the front I put a fake light bar along with whatever you want to call this grille. Of course have some sliding doors and these hubcaps that fit the theme of this vehicle well. Then at the back it has a real light bar, and I decided to give it a roof rack. The interior is just a basic grey interior with 3-row seating. Now let's move to the next section. Front wheel drive for the drivetrain, and then the engine. I think a 60-degree V6 with a cast iron block sounds pretty fitting for this car. This placement I will make exactly 3 liters. Then overhead cam with 3 valves for valve train and iron standard for the head design. Cast for all of these and a harmonic damper. Not going to give this forced induction. Injection, multipoint EFI and single for the fuel system, and unleaded regular for fuel type and compact for the intake manifold. Then last the exhaust. Compact headers, 3-way cat and 2 baffled mufflers. Now I will tune this engine a bit. And here it is finished. Didn't really have any specific goals in mind, so just gave it decent low-end torque and somewhat paid attention to the efficiency. Let's do a test pull. And with the engine done, we can move to the next section. Automatic 4-speed and open differential, radial utility tires and keeping the rim material as steel, solid disc 2-piston on the front and drum on the rear for brakes, no under tray, changing the rear seating row to full 3-person bench. Interior I would call standard, and I did give this a CD player and the lowest option for that is premium, so I guess I will go with that. Hydraulic ball for steering, going to give this ABS and standard 90 safety. And finally for suspension, I will go with standard springs and twin tube dampers. Going to throw on the comfort preset and tune it from there. Now I will quickly tune all the tabs in this section to make sure everything works as it should. And finished with that now. Didn't have to do too much tuning to get everything looking decent enough for this. Game still giving me these suggestions. Understeer I don't care about, it's a minivan, not a race car. Overdrive is there for fuel efficiency. Not going to change the rear tire width, since I want the front and the rear tire widths to match, and slight brake weight I don't consider a problem for a car like this. To finish off, I will name this thing Laser Super Tourer. Sounds good for this. Also, I think I will give this a decal with that name on the rear, like so. Now I will get this exported to BMC Drive and give it a test drive. And here it is in BMC Drive in the appropriate scenery of a suburban neighborhood. Let's get into the driver view and go for a drive. As a side note, no idea why the speedo is broken like that. Tried a few things to fix that, but nothing worked. But anyways, don't really have any particular tests in mind for this thing, so just gonna drive it around and see what I think of it. Handles this twisty suburban road pretty well at least. Let's see how the brakes are. Pretty decent. I'll try full throttle here. And to everyone's surprise, it doesn't accelerate quickly. Bit harder on the brakes. Yep, they still slow down the vehicle. Onto the highway. Throttle is all the way down. Okay, didn't take too much effort to reach 70 miles per hour, and after a bit of distance, can say it cruises nicely. Well, going towards the city now, so let's see how this minivan is to drive in there. And like a functional car should, it gets up these hills without any issues. Doesn't feel too bad over these bumps either. And of course, since I gave this an automatic transmission, it's very easy to drive with all the stopping and going. Okay, now time to see how it handles going downhill at just a bit over the speed limit. handled that first jump decently well. That one as well, though don't think I will be able to stop it before hitting something. Well, there's the crash test done as well. I suppose I will take this around the track too. Bit of wheel spin while getting off the line, and brakes feeling good on track as well. Steering nicely through the first corner, though I am going pretty slow. Small amount of understeer there. And a bit more here. This is some kind of line through here, not the correct one though. Doesn't understeer as badly as I thought this would, though I think that is because I'm taking these corners quite slow. Oh yeah, there's the understeer I was expecting, but didn't help it by going fast into the corner and also being on the throttle. Well, let's see how the corkscrew replica goes. Not too bad. Some amount of understeer at the last part. Now, just through the last chicane. Beat too hard on the brake pedal. Sounded like that was enough to overwhelm the ABS. Anyways, onto the straight and across the line. And a bit of handbrake to finish in style. Last test, just a quick loop around the quarry to see how this minivan handles on gravel. Well, first thing I can say is that these tires have no grip while going uphill, it seems. Okay, well, they don't seem to have any more grip even on a flatter part. Would have to be really light on the throttle to not spin the wheels. Think the only way I'm turning here is with the help of the handbrake. Even with that, getting a bit too close to the barrier. And using the handbrake again. And this minivan clearly doesn't like being on gravel since it wants to slide into the rocks. Third time's the charm, as they say. That turn went pretty well, and with a bit of momentum, it's actually not too bad going uphill on gravel, though that is of course ruined by this hairpin. Well, I think that does it for this test drive. Yeah, it do be a minivan. Don't really have anything more to say. Nothing that interesting about the driving experience. Goes from A to B without any problems.